Okay, I know you haven't seen me in a while. If you follow me on Twitter, if you're on my Instagram, you'll know why I haven't been on and stuff like that. I don't care how I look. Like right now, what I got on my nail? Food probably. But anyway, like my Jupiter nails messed up. My thumb, my Mars nails they're always like that. But tonight is gonna be the full moon eclipse. But I wanted to talk about something because I was just let me just post topics. I see people do topics and stuff, and I was I think I'll have something I feel like I can add to conversations and stuff like that. And I think the main thing I wanted to talk about, just based on just my situation, has been bonds and relationships, people, etc. And what people don't understand about, again, with community, and I've talked about this a little bit, but you have to be able to communicate. And a lot of people lack communication skills. You're going to realize that a lot when you're just dealing with people, and you would, well, for at least I can only speak for myself. I like to communicate everything that's important and relevant to conversations. The main reason why I like to communicate certain things is because, again, I just want the person to know intentions and everything like that. My biggest issue usually comes from people that don't want to understand why they do what they do. They just kind of live in this world where they'll tell you how they're feeling, but they won't actually take into account how their actions make you feel. And a lot of people nowadays, they're doing this thing where they won't speak to you, they won't communicate with you, but they'll watch your stories, they'll do this, they'll just do stuff to make it seem like they're present, but they're actually not. And it's kind of the biggest issue with connections is this: if you've already established a close friendship with somebody, you're a family member that's always been there, or you're supposed to be kin, if the relationship starts to break apart a little bit, I would feel it would be best to explain yourself. And it's not to say you owe people your whole life. When things change, communicate that. Hey, I've been busy. Life, I got these kids, I got this. With kids, I think people will understand more because it's blatant. You got kids now. I don't really think that needs much of an explanation. But you getting a job, you getting this, stuff that people usually don't see on social media from you, or things that aren't as blatant, and they're really going through something. I think it's best to communicate that. And a lot of people don't. They just feel well, if I'm not responding, there's a reason for that. And it's yeah, rationally, yeah, but rationality is also a part of the Mercury spectrum. It's a part of communication. Why wouldn't you want to communicate something so important? And a lot of people, they just feel like they just don't owe it. But again, when the universe stops explaining to them why things happen and stuff just happens, they want an explanation from God why things are happening, or they want a channeled message as to why, but they don't explain simple stuff to their friends as to why things happen and why the communication's breaking up. And so when you experience and go through those types of things with those type of people, you have to really take into account, are they even worth the energy you're spending into understanding why they're doing what they're doing? Because sometimes you really don't. A lot of people do what they do because they don't want to be lonely. And I think that's understandable, because who wants to be by themselves, But it's to a point, it's kind of what are some things that you're losing out on because you're dealing with another person? And, you know, you lose so many hours that you can't get back dealing with certain people. They're always a priority. They take up space, they take up energy because you don't know what's going on. And like, I can't give you the psychology behind it because I'm not a psychiatrist or a therapist, but I did hear it's like being ghosted and being ignored is like the equivalent to, like, I guess a heartbreak or something like that. Like, you're literally going crazy. And a lot of people may not know that, but it's kind of like you have unanswered questions in your own life as to why you are where you are. So how do you think that makes somebody feel when they've seen you around and all of a sudden you're not available or you're not around and you took that from them? I just think it's messed up personally, but you know, that's not my business. I just think, again, when you come across those type of people, you can't give all your energy. You have to start putting that energy back towards you. And I know we hear that a lot with people saying, oh, you need to give the energy back to yourself. And you're like, relationships are very important, but it's the type of relationships that are important. You can't just accept anything. It's kind of like, you know, you need clothes to wear, but if you just got beat up clothes and dirty clothes, would you wear them? Is that okay? Because they're clothes, right? No, you got to be specific with what you want around, on you, and everything. Because if not, you're just accepting anybody. How will that help you and sustain you later in life? It won't. So, and even when it comes to love and relationships, it's kind of like, again, communication is key. Communication helps businesses run smoothly. Relationships that are friendships, relationships that are family. It helps everything move smoothly. But I just feel like a lot of people are just caught up in themselves. And I think we're going into the extreme of like codependent to selfishness. And people always talk about the pendulum swinging. But if you have to always do these extremes and you're always trying to find middle ground, is the pendulum swinging, or are you just over and hyperactive and you just want to just do things because of the other side you don't want to deal with? Because, okay, you're always around people and now you're being selfish. Like, I say it in an exaggerated way, but I still keep people in mind when I make certain moves and do certain things, because I'm learning to find the balance, not swing to the other side because I'm mad at what the other end of the schism did to me. That's dumb. What I do is I'm learning to just focus more on what I have going on and learning to communicate, hey, you know, I'm doing this. Hey, I'm this type of person. So I'm not revisiting conversations about certain things. Be honest about who you are. The type of person, you like communication. You don't like being ghosted. You don't like being treated a certain way. Stuff like that. If people can't do what you ask them to do, you gotta move on. Why are you feeling bad over somebody making you feel bad? Why do you feel bad to tell somebody something that's making you feel bad? That doesn't make sense. So that's how you feel. Like, you don't like what they're doing. I don't know why you wanted to make it a thing where, oh, I'm scared. Because it's kind of like, I get it, because it's hard for me to communicate that I feel upset by what somebody did. Because, you know, one, they either didn't mean it. Two, last time you told somebody how you felt about something, they like got mad and made you feel weird. But you're gonna have to learn, I accept myself for who I am. Just say to yourself, I accept myself for who I am. And because I accept myself for who I am, I'm not gonna tolerate people treating me in a manner that I'm not. It's that simple. Well, the words are that simple, but actually following it is a completely different story. But I think, like, even along my life, I would even say in March, on my birthday, I spent that time alone. I was listening to SZA, Good Days, because I was just really just taking in the loneliness and just like, okay, if I feel like shit, I'm going to just feel it. I did it last year with my like business module, like when everything was just crashing down. I just was like, okay, let me go back to basics. Let me not try to do all this recovery and stuff. Let me feel all this sense of failure that I felt, the rebuild, the struggle. I just wanted to feel it. This year I'm going through something similar, but like I'm building something, a different part of my life, and I'm just allowing myself to feel those emotions. So, you know, I spent my time at the library. I was just like, I'm gonna just feel all these emotions. I didn't tell anybody it was my birthday. Like, nobody at the place knew it was my birthday. Nothing. I just spent it by myself, and I realized that this emptiness, and even, I'm just realizing it really right now. This emptiness I'm feeling is like 0 point. It's that void, that, you know, the birth of creation. Like, the empty feelings that you feel is a new beginning to create something better for yourself. So I've been slowly but surely finding cool people. I don't know how long they're gonna last in my life. I don't know. I don't care anymore. If the vibes are good right now, that's good enough for me. So based on that, my, you know, whole thing is just learning to just chill and vibe. And I know for me right now, like, I met some cool people at work. They paid for my drinks, and I was drunk, did karaoke, and then we had a designated driver take us home safely, you know? Stuff like that. And I think it's because I've started everything at 0 point. I've been more picky about who I have around me, and I've been more true to myself regardless of where I am. Like, I talk to people about astrology and sidereal like they know what it is, and like, in my mind, I'm like, y'all don't even care what I'm talking about. But you know what? It's not going to stop me from being myself. I'm not shutting myself off to be more digestible. Either you're going to accept me or try what the samples that I got out, or you just don't like me. And I've always been like that, but I think I'm coming more into not being so angry and roundabout, or not angry about it or blatant. It's just, I'm here. You know, I don't need to be angry about me being here. I don't need to be loud about me being here. I'm just here and existing. And if it happens to be loud, it's not even as an intent anymore. It's just who I am. You'll just find out more about me later on in life. So I think that's just like, you know, what I've been experiencing about my 12th house year as well. Just learning to do me. There's people that piss me off a lot, but I've been learning to handle it in certain ways and learn that, you know, what I've been through these past couple of weeks have been a lot more pungent than like temporary 5-minute interactions with people I will never meet again, especially working where I work. So, happy eclipse to y'all. The moon is in my first house, so I've been wanting to get back on YouTube and stuff like that, and eclipse is hitting important parts of my chart. So hopefully, you know, you've been doing all right. You might see me in the next couple days. I'm probably going to be posting on YouTube a lot, like videos like this, and just talking to y'all. And again, connections are just very important, but it's not worth what you go through. And my mom even told me this. She said, you would be a lot further if you didn't care for others more than you cared about yourself. Like, in a roundabout way. Like, I'm gonna just summarize it because that's really what it was. And it was like, I wasted a lot of time, but I feel like I'm glad I spent that time at, you know, 21, 22, younger, finding that out, than like 30 and stuff like that. And of course, people want to learn at their own pace, but I'm glad I learned it early so I can continue to just do me. And I noticed that the time I've been spending alone by myself, I've been getting so much done, so many opportunities pouring in, because my priority is not on other people. My bag is getting better because my priority, and I think of the universe as, somebody did like this candle thing like years ago, and I watched it, how candles work, and they said think of it as a message. So for me, with the universe and stuff, and how I think of it, universe is just this computer neural network, and it sends messages. If I'm putting priority, sending or signaling the universe, it's like hair on my lip or something like that. Oh my gosh. But like, if I'm sending out to the universe, sorry, but if I'm sending out to the universe, I want this and I want that, and then they're sending me the message like in the envelope, like, this is what you wanted, right? This is what you got. And I'm like, okay, cool. But if I'm letting the universe know I'm putting my friendships, that people that don't care about me, on priority mail, that mail is going to come a lot faster than, you know, the money and stuff like this, because that wasn't put on priority. I feel like maybe like your top 5 things are the things you're going to get faster. You know, number 1 being the fastest, number 5 being the slowest. Pick it wisely. Pick those people wisely. Do all that stuff, because the more hours you spend on friendships, even like with me, gaming, I love video games, I love certain things, the more hours you put into that, you'll notice you'll get benefits from those things, but then your other stuff starts faltering. Again, priorities are very, 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 very important, and keeping that in mind will help you understand what areas you want to improve in. And once you get certain things down and the myelin just starts piling and piling and piling and getting thicker, you'll be able to move on to something else. And that other part of you that's been working, it's like a flash. Like, for example, like running my business is easy. Like, it's a lot if there's other things going on, but I know how to get right back into it because I spent that year building that craft. You know what I'm saying? So I know, like a year from now, 2 years from now, based on what I've been doing now, all that's going to be easy, and I'll be able to move on to bigger and better stuff. Right now, it's just all about what you're doing foundationally. It's going to be hard. It's going to be lonely. It's going to be challenging. You're going to be frustrated. But the payoff is so worth it than like just living in comfort. And then when you're not going anywhere and you're really stuck, you're going to think that's the hardest part, when really you're doing the hardest when you're getting through all the difficulty and stuff like that. Because what becomes the most difficult is you not moving from your comfort zone. And then when you get into the foundational work, it's going to seem like the most difficult thing. And it, honestly, I would say out of all of it, it is. But again, there's payoff in work. There's no payoff in stagnancy. I hope I said it right. But that's really it. I'm done talking. I'll see y'all in the next video. Like, I don't know, 1 or 2 days I'll be posting videos. So bye, y'all.